Peter Hartcher, beautiful suits, plummy voice, knows an awful lot of big words and very well connected to Kevin Rudd and plenty of others in the past that have given him a front page story. He drops this story that it seems, in fact you've got to say it, 2/3 of the allegation is not true, is that it was a fairly low-level person, no one from the Prime Minister's office. The bloke, the Australian ambassador to France, did not offer to resign, and even the bit about the partner, there was a scuffle that was quickly solved with the ambassador saying, "Get nicked, I'm standing here with my bloke," and nobody had a problem, and everyone went out for dinner. But Hartcher was more than happy to come here on Sky News, go on 2GB and say, well, homophobia, but you're saying homophobia. I'm not saying homophobia. The Age's front page, gay snub. This story only ran because it was two same-sex blokes and it was a way to make Tony Abbott look like a bloke who doesn't like homosexuals. What do you think of the way this all rolled out? Am I being unfair to Peter Hartcher?
Well, look, to be honest, I just am a bit bored of this whole story. Sorry.
Fair.
Because I just think this is the sort of thing where the media thinks it's fascinating, and I honestly don't think any voters care. I will agree with you that the point of the story was definitely to traffic on this assumption, which I believe is an erroneous assumption, that Tony Abbott is homophobic. I don't think Tony Abbott is homophobic, and I don't think he's a misogynist. And they have been two enduring myths that have surrounded his prime ministership. So I absolutely agree with you there.
And the thing is, that's my annoyance. That's the rage. That's why you have to be forensic in pulling the whole thing apart, because stories like this just get added to the shorthand pile when somebody says, so why is Tony Abbott homophobic? Oh, well, there was the French ambassador thing. That's why I put so much attention into it. You've worked both sides of the way the media works and politics works. Has he been lied to by his sources? Has he over-ginned it? What do you reckon?
Well, it could be both of those things. Maybe he didn't have enough sources. I'm not going to cast aspersions on his work, but clearly the story hasn't stood up after the evidence in the estimates hearing. I thought this was always going to be the case, that the incident may have actually happened, although we now have a lot of question marks over that, but it was probably always a miscommunication at the lower levels. I mean, it was always presented as if Tony Abbott had a problem here, or someone very senior close to Tony Abbott didn't want Stephen Brady's partner to meet the Prime Minister.
Well, can we just bring back, I don't know if we can in the control room, just that front page of The Age, the day after, the way the story was presented. I mean, it's pretty clear here, as if Tony Abbott said, no poofs on the runway. Yeah, I mean, he didn't say it.
Snubbed by Abbott. And look, you know, when I worked in the Rudd government, I was, you know, involved in some overseas ministerial visits, and so I've got a good indication as to how these kind of things work with protocol.